Hey guys, today I'd like to talk about this Japanese manga about this little girl story being raised in a Jehovah's Witness family. This is a follow-up to a video I made a few years ago. Back then, I think I only had like 100 subscribers and I only read the preview part, yet still, the video got some views and discussions going on. So I planned to make a follow-up and got the full story. The story did not end with the book, but continued on the magazines. And there sure is a lot to talk about after reading the whole thing. First, let's quickly go over the background. The main character is called Saya, which is also the pseudonym our author uses since she doesn't want to get caught by the Watchtower, the Jehovah's Witness organization. Saya's mom is a devout Jehovah's Witness, so you can see in the cover a view from the peephole of a door is her mom and her proselytizing, and this is also the title of the manga. The story of a kid from a proselytizer's family. So you basically see her go to the Jehovah's Witness meetings and how her mom influences her everyday life from home to school. So she's kind of the big bad character of the story. But it's more nuanced than that because her mom took care of her and all that, while her secular dad kind of neglected her. Although despite their flaws, I wouldn't say these are bad parents, just so you know. From an interview Saya did after publishing the book, we know today Saya had grown up to be an atheist. She's happy and free and still talks to her mom from time to time, which is pretty good ending when you deal with Jehovah's Witnesses. For those who didn't know, Jehovah's Witnesses are known to shun people who's against them or leaves the organization, even if it's their child. And we've seen many cases of that. It's just sad and messed up. This manga started as a form of therapy for Saya to let out some of her bottled feelings by drawing them, but it quickly got popular on Twitter and eventually got published. Interestingly, the readers are not only Jehovah's Witnesses, they are people who with religious parents from other religions as well. Now let's talk about some of the recurring themes in the story. The first and foremost is how she was taught to isolate herself from the society to avoid bad influence from corrupting them. They call outsiders the worldly. As a result, she basically had no friends from school. Isolation can be a great source of harm for Jehovah's Witness victims for many reasons, but I think it is especially harmful in Japan due to how Jehovah's Witnesses encourage their members to stand out, but in Japanese culture, especially in their schools, they value obedience and uniformity. Going back to the book, we read when their school had a sports competition, she couldn't cheer for her class because the Watchtower considered it to be participating in conflicts, quote unquote, and they are not allowed to sing the national anthem as well. Because of that, she would get weird looks from other kids and have people talking behind her back. From the story, we know the isolation and marginalization took a heavy toll on Saya's mind. It's also the reason that eventually led to her rebellion from being a Jehovah's Witness. By the time Saya's in high school, she had just grown tired with all the repressive religious rules and the boring preachings in those Jehovah's Witness meetings. Seeing some other kids she grew up with no longer go to the meetings, she started making up excuses to not to go as well. But she still felt guilty doing that. Then one day, she read a book in the school library which had a scene showing how weird religious meetings could be from an outsider's perspective. And those perspectives resonated deeply with her own. And that's how she found out all her doubts and questions about the Jehovah's Witnesses are completely normal and nothing to be ashamed of. So with that newfound courage, she finally told her mom the truth that she had always hated everything to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. Her mom was heartbroken, but seeing how Saya's mind was made, she let her free. Reading this story as an atheist who used to make a lot of counter-apologetic videos and all that, I find it rather striking just how powerful this work is, despite it doesn't contain a single argument against the Jehovah's Witness theology. I know some atheists might find this appealing to emotion or feelings rather appalling, because it is religion that celebrates it when someone has faith for no reason or even against reasons. But this work shows the role emotion plays in someone leaving the religion very well, so perhaps there's something to learn from it. Another striking aspect of Saya's deconversion story is how long she subjected herself to the rules her mom forced on her. When Saya told her mom she hated it all, her mom, before finally giving up, responded saying, "But I thought you wanted all this. I thought we did all of it because you agreed to it." So let's talk about consent between parents and children. It's very common for parents to ask their children to do something they don't like. For example, eat your vegetables, which is, of course, for their own good. But religious parents are not going to distinguish between general good things to do, like eat your vegetables, with religious practices like pray before you eat. And we all know religion doesn't stop there. This is something to keep in mind whenever we say children should be free to choose their religion, because as exposed by Saya's moment of revelation as she read about how normal people think about those religious doctrines, the options Saya were supposed to be free to choose from were never presented to her in a fair way. How religious parents violate their children's freedom from religion is what truly brought this work to be bigger than just about Jehovah's Witnesses. From an episode published after the book, we will learn that her mom, too, had a religious mother. Saya's mom had an interesting situation with her family. Her father was not religious, but he's very strict on her, so she probably didn't like him that much. And her mom, of course, made her follow the religion that she's never happy with. Saya's mom was basically abused as a child, and only until she got married, she was finally independent and free from her family. And this experience presumably played a big role in Saya's mom joining and becoming a devout Jehovah's Witness, because the congregation somewhat makes up for the loving family she never had. How ironic this very religion would become the main reason Saya couldn't have a happy childhood like other kids at school. Overall, I would say this manga is very atmospheric. It's very good at capturing characters' emotions, no matter it's during a conflict or when they are alone. The story just feels real, but of course this is Saya's real story. After the book was published, this manga continued on the magazine until early 2019, with the last episode to date ending with "to be continued." And so far we've received no comment from the publisher, and the author's Twitter also became inactive since then. Because of that, when I first planned this video in late 2020, I sent the publisher an email asking that, and to my surprise, they actually responded. Now here's what they say. Regarding the hiatus of the work in question, it's due to the author's family matter. However, we'd like to add, it's not anything negative like trouble with religious groups. They did talk about letting everyone know once the work is ready to resume, but that has not happened after 3 years. So I guess as a reader, I'm sad, but everyone has their own life. Maybe she just had a child now she has to take care of or something. And that's pretty much about it. If you want to get this manga for yourself, the best way to get the first 12 episodes is to get the book secondhand, which will cost you about 300 yen when I film this. For the 9 episodes that never made it into a separate book, the easiest and cheapest way is to get them digitally on this website. Links in the descriptions. This will cost you about 500 yen for them all. If you ever decide to read this manga, feel free to share how you feel about the story in the comments. There's a lot more stories I haven't covered in this video. And if you don't speak Japanese, no worries. There's a similar manga from another ex-Jehovah's Witness in Japan that's already translated into English, and it's already got a review from someone more familiar with the religion. You can get it here. So thanks for watching this video. There's a lot more religious problems in Japan, so I'll probably talk about them in the future videos. But before that, don't forget to be awesome.